Hey guys, my name is Claire Feldhouse, and last Wednesday I got to shadow a CRNA at the OR at UK Hospital. I was there for about 4.5 hours, so during that time I got to see an entire minor surgery from pre-op to PACU, and then the second surgery I just got to see the pre-op phase, and then she got wheeled into the OR and they did all that preparation stuff, and that was all that I got to see for that one. But for the first surgery, we went and got the patient from his room in pre-op, and the nurse did their pre-op checklist just to verify that everything was good to go. The CRNA asked a few questions, and then we wheeled him to the OR. He was put to sleep pretty quickly, and then the surgery got underway. It took, like, from the time that he was wheeled into OR to the time he was wheeled out was like an hour, so it was a really quick surgery. He just had a small abscess removed from his abdomen, but I got to see the handoff report from the CRNA and the surgeon to the PACU nurse, which was pretty cool. And then the second surgery was more extensive. It was a partial hepatectomy. This woman had liver cancer, so part of her liver was completely covered in tumors, so that's the part that they were removing. But I also got to see the pre-op phase of that, where the nurse asked all the questions. CRNA wheeled her to the OR, and from the time that she was wheeled into the OR, the surgery probably didn't start for another hour. Just all the preparation work that went into it. Nurses had to insert a Foley, and then the anesthesiologist was putting in just an IV access line. A med student was putting in an A line, so an arterial line, and then the CRNA was actually putting in a central line into the IJ, which was pretty cool. And then I had to leave before the surgery started, but it was honestly kind of shocking to see how long preparation took before they ever even cut her open or even thought about cutting her open to start the surgery, which was pretty interesting. So during that time, I learned some cool things about being a CRNA. I wasn't honestly completely sure what they did. I knew that they put the patients to sleep before surgery, but I didn't know that they were responsible for wheeling them to the OR and doing a PACU handoff and stuff like that. That was cool. But I also learned the pay difference between CRNAs and nurses, which I found really shocking, and it's pretty cool how much money they make. Definitely makes it more appealing. And then I also was really surprised at the amount of freedom that CRNAs had. I just had this idea in my mind that CRNAs were always with an anesthesiologist, and then the anesthesiologist just kind of told the CRNA what to do, but that was not the case at all. I actually asked my CRNA while I was there, do anesthesiologists do anything? Are they ever in the OR? And he said that they are usually over 2 CRNAs at a time, 2 ORs at a time, and honestly, they just kind of intervene if something goes wrong, and they'll help you if you're really busy, but honestly, you're pretty free to do as you please and critically think as you please, which I thought was really cool. But I really did enjoy the experience. I got to observe the nurses for a little bit. The scrub nurse was basically just responsible for handing the surgeon his utensils the entire time, remaining sterile, obviously. And then the circulating nurse, she kind of stayed back, and I guess she was documenting. I don't really know what she was doing, but obviously those roles are much different than where we observe in our clinical setting. And then the interprofessional collaboration between the entire surgical team was really awesome. They worked so well together. Everyone's kind of responsible for something different, but when it all comes together, it makes for a successful surgery. It was very evident when that second surgery came in, and one person was putting in an IV in one arm, and the other arm an A line was going in, and then a central line, and then a Foley, and people were just all over the place, but it was working really well, which I thought that was really cool to see as well. So since I shadowed a CRNA, I had to watch the lecture voiceover thing, and it was talking about a trauma patient who was in a motor vehicle crash on his motorcycle with an ambulance, and they were just talking about everything that you have to think about when a trauma patient with such extensive injuries comes in, and they were talking about all the different parts of the team, the nurses, physicians, the EMS people, pharmacy techs, vascular team, ortho team, neuro team, respiratory, social work, case management, and just so many different aspects go into a single case, whether honestly the injuries are extensive or not. So they were just talking about prioritizing his care, so doing a neuro exam, is he stable enough to go to surgery, splinting and stabilizing the fractures so that nothing terrible happens there. conversations with the family, and then starting discharge planning like as soon as he gets there. So it was just really interesting to learn about just how much goes into a single patient, and I think it was really cool to hear the perspective from all the different team members about that. But then when the doctors stated after the nurses were done speaking that nurses are the center of the universe, no one has kept me out of more trouble than the nurses. I think that was really cool to hear, just because sometimes I think us nurses are intimidated by physicians or MDs or something like that. And I think it's important to know that we are we're the center of the healthcare team. We are the main form of communication between the doctors, the physicians, and the patient. And we are with our patient a majority of the time, so we are their advocate. And I think that's important to realize that doctors look up to us as much as we look up to them. So yeah, I learned a lot from this assignment and from my shadowing experience. But yeah, thank you.